So I screwed up. I have an Anthem AVM70 processor for my home theater in here. And the calibration software, it's a program called ARC Genesis. And Anthem released an update to ARC Genesis, so I downloaded the update. And then rather than take all new sound measurements and have them do the adjustments in the new update, I just uploaded the old sound calibration file that I had used previously with the previous firmware update. And after I uploaded it, I watched a movie here in my theater and the sound was totally neutered. Like muted, low impact, very little dynamic compared to how it normally is. I mean, it still sounded good, but not anywhere as good as it did previously. So I am hoping that by starting from scratch and taking all new sound measurements and then having the adjustments made with the new version will solve all that. I'm hoping. So this is a little bit of an experiment. There is a small part of me that's concerned that this new firmware update just isn't good. And so this is an experiment. And when I say I screwed up, I took the old sound file and saved it with the new correction. And so there's no way for me to revert back to the way it was before. So I'm a little concerned, but we'll see. I'm going to walk you through how I do a sound calibration here in my home theater with an Anthem AVM70 processor. So let's get started. So the first step is to set up the microphone, and Anthem provides this really good tripod for the microphone, which is wonderful. And then they also provide this really cool calibrated microphone that is pretty slick. The first step is to put it in the main listening position, right in the middle. Point the dot on the front. Make sure that it is pointing towards the front, and make sure that it is level, kind of an ear level. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, and then you connect the microphone to the laptop. So now that we've got the microphone set up, I'm going to open up ARC Genesis. So I've got all my speakers set. I've got a 9.2.4. So we'll do measurement A. We're just going to do one measurement, number of positions to measure, 5. I know that my distance to my left main is 17 feet 8 inches. Okay, so it's finished the first round of sound collection. So now we move the microphone to the second position. So we'll set it up next to the primary listening position, and we'll move it over here. It will be straight up and down. Okay, so now we move it to the third position. So we'll go over here, make sure it's straight up and down, make sure it's pointed directly at the screen. That looks good. So now we'll do position 3. Now we'll do the fourth position here. We'll kind of split the difference from what we had between the first and the second positions. And this is where audio calibration is kind of not an exact science. It's kind of like where you want the calibration to be centered at, or taking the average of. So obviously you wouldn't want to set the microphone out here because you don't really care what it sounds like out in front of the seats. So setting it kind of here, this is kind of splitting the difference between the first and the second position. But this is the kind of thing where it's like experimentation is good, like taking multiple rounds of measurements and trying different positions. Like maybe it would be good to take a measurement out here, or maybe back here, or something like that. So it just depends on your room and how you want to do it. I'm still kind of in the experimental phase, so I'm just going to see how it sounds right here. We'll take the fourth measurement from that position. Here we go. All right, now we'll do the last and final measurement. Looks good. Okay, now we'll do the fifth one. Okay, so it finished the final sound collection, and now it's calculating the correction curves. Okay, so we've got the file done. Now let's just adjust the settings. We're just going to take a look and see how it has them configured. So we've got the first profile and the second profile. So currently the first profile is the only one that's enabled. But let's do a second profile and then a third profile. And I'm going to explain why in just a moment. So the first profile is going to be everything. All of the speakers, all 9.2.4. And what we'll do is we'll set the profile 2 as just a 2-channel listening environment. So we will remove the center, we'll remove the surrounds, the wides, the backs, and both of the heights. We'll leave both subs on, but yeah, it'll basically be a 2-channel listening environment. And then sometimes I do tests with 5.1, 5.2 in this case. So we'll leave those on, and then we'll leave the surrounds on, we'll take the wides off, take the backs off, and remove both heights. So in this case, it's just, as you can see, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.2. So then we hit continue. And this is where you set the speaker levels. For this, I'm not really going to mess with these too much. I'm just going to let them be what Anthem ARC Genesis set them as. So we're just going to, and we're going to do that for all 3 profiles. We're just going to leave it as is for all 3 profiles. Okay. So then we'll go to continue. Oh, now it's going to make me go through each of the profiles. Okay. Profile 1. This is the system-wide target. We're going to boost it a little bit in the lower frequencies so we can get that, what they call the house curve. There's a lot of debate about that. So right now it's set to 3, so we're going to bump it up. We'll bump it up to, and again, this is just what sounds good to you. So I like to experiment around with it. Like I'll set it now, and then later I'll, after listening to it for a while, I'll come in here and I'll adjust it and see how I like it. If I prefer it higher or lower, etc. So right now we'll just bump it up 2 dB. So it was at 3. We're just going to bump it up to 5. The room gain center frequency, we'll just leave that at 200. Deep bass boost, let's see what it does to the line when I change that. Oh, it's just boosting that. Okay. Maybe we'll give that a 1 dB boost. Nothing crazy. And then deep bass boost center frequency, we'll leave that at 50. And then the tilt level, right now it's at 0. So that's the system-wide target. And then we won't change any of the other settings. We're going to leave the crossovers as Anthem set them. It looks like it's setting them to 80s for the mains in the center, 90 hertz for the surrounds, 80 hertz for the wides, 80 hertz for the backs, heights 80 hertz. Wow, really? Oh, okay, yeah, because my fronts, those are KEF bookshelf speakers, so they can handle a little bit lower frequency, and then the heights in the rear 100. Okay, yeah, we'll just leave this all as is and call it good. Yeah, and there's only about 3 million different ways to set these. That's why it's so customizable. So everybody's going to have a different opinion on what works for them, and it really just kind of comes down to what sounds good to you. So it's going to calculate the correction curves. This takes a moment. And now I'm going to do the automatic phase adjustment. This is for the subwoofers. So what I'm going to have to do is reset the microphone to the main listening position, and then I'm going to run this, and it will adjust the subwoofers so that they're all phase aligned. Okay, so it uploaded the phase adjustment, and these are for all the speakers, obviously. So now I'm going to upload these to the processor. Okay, so we're going to find out how this sounds. I have queued up the race scene from Ready Player One because I'm extremely familiar with that, so it makes for a good comparison because I know how it's supposed to sound. So we'll see. This is going to be interesting. But so far, it sounds pretty good. The dialogue is coming through really, really solid. Let's see how the bass hits on this part right here. That's pretty good. Okay. All right, we're getting good surrounds. Things are sounding pretty good.
First to the key.
First to the head.
Yeah. So far, so good. Oh yeah. Okay. I can tell already this is a major improvement over what it was before. Yeah, this is good. This is good. So the train, that's one of the parts that's kind of a moment of truth where it's very clear because it moves to the sides and the rears, and I wasn't getting that before. And then this, well, yeah, there's really good ones here. And then the second part is when the wrecking ball comes down and the T-Rex comes out. Oh wow, that sounds incredible. Oh man, this, okay, I'm feeling really good. This is a relief. I'm glad that this is sounding so good because this is awesome. We'll see how the wrecking ball sounds. Here it comes. Nice. And then the T-Rex. Let's get the T-Rex in here. Here it comes. And then the ape, King Kong. Yes. Yes. Excellent. And then the last one is when they flip around and that whoosh sound goes all around the room. See how this sounds. I'm confident it's going to sound good, but I'm interested to hear it. Nice. Excellent. Excellent. I am pleased and relieved. I'm so glad that's fixed. Thanks for watching.